Did Iran fund the ANC? This investigation uncovered a troubling weakness in South Africa's political party funding system, one that urgently needs to be addressed. Since the ANC filed its case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, rumors have circulated widely suggesting that the party may have accepted funding from Iran in exchange for political alignment and foreign policy decisions. Given the seriousness of these claims, I decided to conduct my own investigation to determine whether any evidence existed to support them. What I found was deeply concerning, not because there was proof of Iranian funding, but because there was no proper, transparent reporting that could clearly confirm or deny the allegations. Despite strong denials from ANC defenders and intense public debate, no comprehensive report existed that answered the central question. This lack of clarity alone reveals a major flaw in how political party finances are monitored and disclosed in South Africa. Before unpacking the findings, I published a full investigation as an article on X and made the link available in the description and pinned comments. The purpose was simple, to ensure that the information reaches as many people as possible. For those without an X account, the article remains accessible. Rather than repeating every detail here, this narration focuses on the most critical points that reveal why this issue matters so deeply. To determine whether the ANC received Iranian funding, access to the party's financial records for the 2022 to 2023 and 2023 to 2024 financial years is essential. This would allow a comparison of the party's financial position before and after the ICJ case was filed. However, political parties in South Africa are not required to make their full financial statements public. This alone raises serious concerns about transparency, especially when compared to public companies that must publish integrated financial reports. Political parties receive funding from several sources. These include public funding from the state through the Represented Political Parties Fund and the Multi-Party Democracy Fund, which are allocated either equally or proportionally based on parliamentary representation. The ANC, as the largest party, received the biggest share. Parties also receive private donations, loans, and internal revenue such as membership fees, levies from elected officials, and income from investment arms like Chancellor House. At the time of this analysis, parties were required to disclose only donations above 100,000 rand per quarter to the Electoral Commission. This threshold has since been raised to 200,000 rand, further limiting transparency. Donations below this amount do not need to be disclosed. Foreign donations are capped at 5 million rand per party per financial year, and loans are permitted without public disclosure of their origin. In November 2022, reports emerged that the ANC was considering selling assets to cover 500 million rand debt. This was confirmed by internal NEC sources cited by Daily Maverick. When examining the ANC's 2022 to 2023 financial statement published by the IEC, the party reported total revenue of 383 million rand. However, one category labeled Other Income amounted to 28 million rand with no explanation of its source. Membership fees totaled 39 million rand, and loans amounted to 115 million rand, again without disclosure of who provided them. Even more troubling, the ANC statement of financial position made no mention of the reported 500 million rand debt. Instead, it listed trade and other payables of only 620,000 rand. When the missing debt is included, the party's liabilities increase dramatically. This discrepancy alone raises questions about accuracy and disclosure. Moving into the 2023 to 2024 financial year, the situation becomes even more striking. The ANC's reported revenue rose to 826 million rand, with a surplus of 537 million rand after expenses. Most notably, the other income category jumped from 28 million rand the previous year to 413 million rand. The source of this money remains undisclosed. Once again, loans appeared in the accounts, and a portion of private donations remained below the disclosure threshold, making their origin unknown. In December 2023, ANC spokespersons announced that the party had stabilized its finances and cleared its debt. This coincided with a period in which the ICJ case was filed. While there is no direct evidence linking these events, the timing raises reasonable suspicion and demands further explanation. Of the 826 million rand in income, nearly half came from undisclosed other income, making it impossible to determine whether the funds came from legitimate investments, domestic donors, or foreign entities. The Political Funding Act of 2018 requires disclosure only for donations above a certain threshold. With the threshold now raised to 200,000 rand, it becomes easy for individuals or organizations to funnel large sums through multiple smaller donations without detection. A single entity could legally donate nearly 800,000 rand per year without being disclosed. Furthermore, donors can use multiple business fronts to multiply this effect, potentially funneling millions of rand into political parties while remaining invisible to the public. This creates a dangerous loophole. Criminal syndicates or foreign interests could gain political influence without oversight. The law, as it currently stands, protects political parties rather than voters. Citizens have no way of knowing whether foreign governments or criminal networks are influencing national policy. The investigation therefore makes several key recommendations. First, both the Political Funding Act and the Electoral Matters Amendment Act should be repealed or revised so that all donations are disclosed to the IEC and made public regardless of amount. Transparency must be absolute if democratic trust is to be restored. Second, the IEC should require political parties to disclose all sources of other income and loans. If this had been in place, questions about possible Iranian funding would never have arisen. The ANC may well be innocent, but without disclosure, the public cannot know. Third, foreign funding of political parties should be completely prohibited. Current provisions allowing foreign donations for training or policy development open the door to indirect political influence. These loopholes are easily exploited and undermine national sovereignty. Fourth, the IEC must ensure that political party financial statements are complete and accurate. Current annual reports list only state funding and interest income while excluding private donations, loans, and other income categories. This presents an incomplete and misleading picture of party finances. Ultimately, this is a crisis of transparency. If South Africans do not know who fund political parties, they cannot judge whether elections are free from foreign or criminal influence. This issue must be urgently addressed ahead of future elections. This investigation is a call to action. Citizens are encouraged to read the full report, share it widely, and raise awareness. The only way to force reform is through public pressure and informed debate. Too many people remain unaware of what is happening behind the scenes. Thank you for watching. If you found this investigation informative, please subscribe to the channel and consider supporting it by becoming a member. Until next time, this is Matthew Cohen for the Power Pod.